According to General Hospital spoilers, many viewers are left wondering if the writers made a terrible mistake with Kai Taylor. That's because it appears that he has no scars from his back surgery. Not only that, but he is jumping back into the water as if nothing had occurred. Isn't this soap supposed to include medical storylines? Did the writers just make a huge mistake with Kai? It's called General Hospital for a reason, but it appears that the writing team has completely missed the point in at least attempting to make the show a little more realistic, particularly with their medical stories. Kai should be in recuperation for a few weeks. It goes without saying that the internet had a lot to say about the situation. Some even noted, spinal surgery is commonly performed from the front these days. The scar is at the base of the throat, disguised in a natural groove. General Hospital spoilers. What's really going on with Kai? I'm disappointed that they also removed Maxie's transplant scar. I realize doing special makeup all the time is a pain in the ass, but scars are an important part of someone's past and history. Another show critic wrote, Maxie had heart surgery and does not have a scar. Michael was scorched all over his body, yet he's poolside and looks like a snack. The doctors in this universe are wonderful. There was also this comment. GH has access to the world's greatest plastic surgeons. It's no surprise that even the impoverished can afford their services. Fans of GH will have to keep watching to see what happens next. ABC broadcasts General Hospital on weekdays. Check the local listings for times. In the meantime, please share your ideas in the comments box below. General Hospital spoilers suggest Kai Taylor and Trina Robinson's romance hit a big stumbling block this week when Kai revealed Curtis Ashford and Dr. Portia Robinson's plot to Drew Quartermaine. Kai disclosed their plan to seek down Jacinda and pay her off so she could rewrite the story that Drew knew he was using ketamine recreationally and planned to do so, aiming to protect Portia and Nina Reeves from his blackmail while sinking him. Despite Curtis and Portia's unethical tactics, Trina's passionate dedication to her parents contrasts with Kai's allegiance to Drew, who paid his life-changing operation. Can Kai and Trina overcome this obstacle? Or will their conflicting loyalties drive them apart? Kai's betrayal stings Trina. Kai's decision to inform Drew derives from gratitude for his assistance, but it surprises Trina, who expected him to defend her family. Curtis and Portia's plot to expose Drew's deception is unethical, but Trina's loyalty to them makes Kai's actions feel like betrayal. General Hospital spoilers. Gio isn't getting the help he needs when Trina finds out. Will her hurt drive her to confront Kai? Or will his dedication to Drew find common ground with her familial ties? Is there any way for this young couple to survive Drew's schemes when it appears that Curtis and Portia are at least somewhat to blame? GH spoilers. Trina's loyalty versus Kai's gratitude. Trina's rage at Kai's involvement, stemming from her love for her parents, puts their romance on precarious foundation. Kai's support of Drew, as evidenced by his press conference heroics, demonstrates his dedication, but Trina perceives it as a choice over her. A heated confrontation has driven Kai to express his thanks to Drew, but Trina's anguish, linked to her parents' struggle against Drew's extortion over Heather Weber's tests, may be too great. General Hospital spoilers. Will Kai and Trina be able to overcome a difficult situation? Can Kai show that his love exceeds his loyalty to Drew? Or will Trina walk away? Kai and Trina's romance could be jeopardized by this obstacle, which is exacerbated by Curtis and Portia's marital problems. Trina's stance may harden more if Kai fails to find the proper words to convince her that she is more important to him than a career or flattering a congressman. Fans online are debating, with some cheering Trina deserves loyalty, and others hoping that Kai can cure this. Can Kai and Trina reconcile their split loyalties, or will his decision to support Drew end their romance for good? Kai's entrance to General Hospital has created a lot of interest, and with good reason. The mysterious new persona appeared ready to cause havoc in Port Charles. His introduction was slick, his reasons vague, and his presence was immediately impactful. But as time passes and additional layers are revealed, many viewers are beginning to wonder if the writers made a huge mistake. A character like Kai had the potential to be a long-term fixture on the program, firmly ingrained in its history and future. However, the choices chosen in his plot may already be destroying that potential. Kai was initially introduced as a wild card who could bring chaos or salvation based on the writer's choices. The ambiguity was exhilarating. Characters like Kai thrive in morally ambiguous situations. Fans hope to see him connect with legacy families or hidden histories, perhaps as a secret Cassadine or long-lost Quartermain. However, rather than developing anticipation and intrigue, the writing has begun to take a hasty and disjointed approach, providing viewers little reason to emotionally connect in the characters. One major issue is how rapidly Kai was thrown into various storylines without giving the audience a chance to learn who he truly is. He has been employed as a plot device rather than a character. One day he's assisting Jocelyn in discovering the truth about Dalton. The next he's arbitrarily confronting Drew or engaging in shady business with someone off-screen. This disjointed approach has lessened his effect and made it harder for viewers to follow his storyline. Rather than taking the time to organically tie Kai to the main cast, he's become a utility character, inserted into situations to create tension without providing substantial content. That's not to say the actor portraying Kai lacks talent or personality. In fact, his performance has been one of the story's highlights. His ability to strike a balance between charm and menace is appealing. When given good content, he shines. The issue is that the character is written inconsistently, without vision, and with no cohesive emotional foundation. Viewers are left wondering what Kai wants, where he's from, and why any of this matters. There has been no attempt to reveal his flaws or to anchor him in a cause that is meaningful to the viewers. The writers also wasted an opportunity to allow Kai to form significant ties that would anchor him in Port Charles. Romantic or platonic bonds are essential for any new character's existence. But Kai has felt strangely isolated. There were rumors that he would form a bond with Trina or clash with Spencer, but neither narrative developed. Any chemistry with Jocelyn was terminated before it began. Instead of allowing Kai to develop a slow-burn chemistry with a fan-favorite character, they hurried him through mysterious story mechanics that don't appear to be leading any place substantial. And this lack of emotional connection is extremely costly. The show also fails to clarify if Kai is a villain, an anti-hero, or simply misunderstood. That kind of ambiguity can be exciting, but only if it's handled clearly and purposefully. In Kai's situation, it appears that the writers have yet to reach a decision. One day he warns people about danger, the next he threatens someone in a back alley. Without a strong internal motivation or a constant moral compass, he is difficult to root for or even against. The audience requires a cause to care about a character's decisions, yet Kai's motivations are hazy, even illogical at times. Another mistake is that Kai has been utilized to prop up weaker tales rather than elevate current ones. For example, placing him into the aftermath of Drew and Carly's deteriorating alliance appeared to be a desperate attempt to stay relevant, rather than an organic evolution. He could have been more effective as a contrast to characters like Curtis or Dante, challenging their beliefs or bringing knowledge that shakes their foundation. Instead, he's being flung around like a chess piece without a plan. Fans have also noted how quickly Kai appears to recover from setbacks or avoid consequences, which reduces the significance of his presence. When people escape danger without explanation, the show's plausibility suffers. Kai was portrayed as someone who balances danger and control, but if every confrontation goes in his favor with no consequences, he risks becoming comical. Vulnerability is what makes a character unforgettable, not just their strengths, but also how they deal with failure, fear, and the consequences of their actions. Worse, the writers have ignored any emotional context that could explain Kai's actions. Has he lost anyone? Was he betrayed? Did he grow up in Port Charles without realizing it? Viewers have been waiting for a pivotal moment or revelation that will give Kai emotional depth, but nothing has happened. His presence on the canvas appears to have been designed with the expectation that mystery would be enough to keep people interested. However, in soap operas, mystery without heart does not last. This lack of emotional weight is particularly noticeable given Kai's enormous talent. He might be a true disruptor, someone who questions long-held beliefs, reveals secrets, or brings hidden tragedies to light. He may have been involved in a plot with Nina, either exploiting her dark background or assisting her in rebuilding her life after Sunny. He could have taken an interest in Anna's findings and used his special abilities to help or hinder her. The options were limitless. Instead, Kai floats through scenes without direction or the writer's devotion to making him relevant. What makes this even more aggravating is that General Hospital has a track record of successfully incorporating new characters. Look at Dex. His original position was unclear, But his emotional past, allegiance difficulties, and increasing friendship with Joss drew me in. The same may happen to Kai, but the authors must slow down, remove the distractions, and discover the essence of who he is. This means fewer scenes of ambiguous warnings or unexpected partnerships, and more grounded moments in which Kai discloses his soul. Where is the agony that motivates him? Where is humanity? Soap viewers are quite alert, and they do not forget when characters are unclean. They devote time, passion, and energy to these stories. When the writing fails to acknowledge this by giving a character a half-hearted development, the backlash is unavoidable. And, regrettably, Kai appears to be a victim of that inconsistencies. Unless something changes and quickly, the program may have squandered a figure who could have propelled Port Charles into a bright new age. To fix, the writers would have to pare Kai back to his essence. Remove him from the complex subsidiary plots, and place him in a single large, emotionally intense arc. Kai needs roots, whether it's confronting a painful past, developing a slow-burn romance with someone unexpected, or discovering a connection to a heritage character. He requires suffering. He requires options that cost him something. Viewers will forgive a lot if they watch a character struggling sincerely, but they will not stick around for a cipher with no core. There is still time to save Kai's story, but the window is getting smaller. Each episode that goes without expanding his narrative base is a chance lost. Worse, the character risks becoming a symbol of a broader issue, in which story twists take precedence above character integrity, and new additions are hurried in without the essential foundation for long-term success. General Hospital works best when characters develop slowly, revealing their flaws, loyalties, and transformations over time. Kai has abandoned that idea in favor of speed and show. But if the authors take a breather, reset his trajectory, and allow him to disclose the aspects of himself that genuinely matter, he still has a chance to shine. But that won't happen until the program stops using him as a weapon for mayhem and begins portraying him as a person worth knowing. Kai needs the opportunity to be more than a story element. He deserves a story with purpose and soul. And so do the supporters. Trina Robinson's love life has never been simple, and just as things were beginning to feel secure between her and Kai, fate appears to be ready to put them to the test once more. Since Kai arrived in Port Charles, his relationship with Trina has grown slowly but steadily, with both of them finding comfort and challenge in one another. But something has been moving in the background, and a growing sense of unease threatens the lovely rhythm they've been developing. Whether it's the weight of their emotional baggage, the secrets Kai is keeping, or the resurgence of old lovers and family involvement, there's no doubting a storm is forming on the horizon. Trina's friendship with Kai occurred at a moment when she was desperate for a fresh start. She felt emotionally numb after Spencer's death. Grief and tiredness tormented her, and attempting to find serenity in her new chapter seemed impossible. But then Kai appeared, different, gentle, and eager to take things slowly. His patience, sense of humor, and continuous care enabled her to begin to heal. And for a while everything was perfect. Late-night conversations, shared coffees at Perks, and quiet walks in the park, they were creating something real. However, even real things can be fragile. Trina has recently noticed that Kai appears distracted. His loving look is occasionally clouded by fear, and she's noticed him hesitant to answer certain queries about his background. She initially attributed it to nerves or trauma he was unwilling to share, which she respected. Trina understands better than most how difficult it is to relive past pain. But when the holes in his explanation widen and become more regular, she isn't sure it's all about the hurt. It could be about hiding something large enough to destroy what they're building. Kai isn't simply holding back. He's avoiding something. He's been receiving calls late at night and stepping outside to answer them. He refuses to reveal their origin. She observed a name on his phone screen once, Liam. And when she inquired about it, Kai's response was evasive, verging on frantic. Trina did not press, but the tension between them was apparent later. That's when doubts began to seep in. At the same time, Trina begins to feel pressure from others around her. Curtis, who is still attempting to reestablish stability in her life, has been skeptical of Kai since the beginning. He isn't combative about it, but his misgivings are obvious in his queries, tone, and the way he tightens his jaw whenever Kai's name is spoken. Portia has not said much, but her quiet is telling. After everything Trina has been through, Her parents want to see her with someone they can trust and understand. And Kai? He remains a mystery. Then there is Spencer's ghost. Trina has moved on or is attempting to, but the wound of his loss still aches at odd times. A song on the radio, a lost photograph hidden inside a book, and the scent of his perfume on an old scarf. And if something reminds her of Spencer, she feels guilty. I'm guilty of discovering happiness again. I'm sorry I didn't let myself grieve for longer. But she knows Spencer would want her to go on, be free, and love again. Knowing and feeling are not the same thing. Kai too has scars. He's hinted at a troubled past, one that includes an alienated family, a brother with whom he no longer communicates, and a history of becoming connected with inappropriate people. Trina has tried to be patient and allow him to open out at his own time. But if they want to establish anything long-lasting, they must be honest. Trust cannot grow in the shadows. The true tipping point may come from outside. Jocelyn just witnessed Kai having a heated confrontation with a stranger near the docks. She hadn't told Trina yet, not wanting to cause difficulty, but the moment hung on her. Jocelyn trusts her instincts, and something about Kai bothered her from the start. She does not want her best friend to be damaged again, especially after what happened with Esme and Spencer. Meanwhile, Ava's interest has been stirred. She spotted the same man from the docks confrontation at Gallery Jerome. Ava disliked the gleam in his eyes. When she casually mentioned it to Kai, his response was defensive. He departed almost immediately, mumbling an excuse about missing a meeting. All of this adds up to something that appears more serious than personal baggage. Trina is perceptive. She can tell when something is wrong, even if she attempts to deny it. The weight on Kai's shoulders, the forced grins, and the subtle sharpness in his voice as he discusses the future all point to a stumbling block ahead. The question is, will they face it together? Or will it divide them? Trina is currently torn. She wants to believe in the connection they've made. She wants to think that whatever Kai is hiding does not define him, that he can come clean and they can confront it together. But her heart has been broken before, and she isn't sure she has the strength to go through such betrayal again. If Kai isn't honest soon, she may go before the hurt becomes permanent. Kai, on the other hand, is dealing with his conscience. He didn't expect to fall for Trina. What began as a casual encounter evolved into something life-changing. She inspires him to do better, to be worthy of her. But his past is more than just painful. It's dangerous. And if she'd known the whole truth, she might not have left him. She might be in danger herself. That's why he has remained mute. That's why he keeps his phone calls private and avoids answering questions. He thinks he's protecting her. However, in doing so, he risks destroying everything he is attempting to maintain. There is yet an opportunity for them. Their kind of love is rare. And if Kai can muster the bravery to open himself, and Trina the strength to forgive, they may emerge stronger from this. But the clock is ticking. Secrets have a tendency of unraveling on their own, and the consequences might be permanent. Nothing in Port Charles remains buried indefinitely. Ava's inquiry, Jocelyn's suspicions, Curtis' silent protectiveness, they're all circling Kai, getting closer to the truth. And when it gets out, it may rock Trina's world. Again. Still, Trina is not helpless. She has come a long way since her early days at the gallery and the Cassadine drama. She's stronger now, smarter, and more self-confident. If this obstacle is intended to put her to the test, she will not give up. But she will also demand the truth. And Kai must be prepared to offer it to her or let her go. As the tension rises and more gamers join in, one thing becomes clear. This isn't simply a blip in the road. This is the type of struggle that shapes a relationship. If they make it through, they'll have forged a stronger, more enduring connection. If they don't, Trina will suffer another heartbreak. And perhaps the end of something that had the potential to change both of their lives. Regardless, the challenge is serious. The feelings are real. And the repercussions is on its way in some form or another. Trina's internal conflict isn't just about trust. It's about survival. She has been through enough in her young life to understand what it is like to give your heart to someone who cannot protect it. She adored Spencer even if he didn't deserve it. When her love ended, she was shattered. Now, at another emotional crossroads, she's not sure she's willing to take a chance on Kai unless he agrees to meet her halfway. The terrible part is that Trina sees the good in him. Despite the murmurs in town and the guarded aura he exudes, There is something raw and vulnerable in Kai's eyes when he stares at her, making her want to cling on rather than walk away. Even the most powerful emotions require a basis based on reality. If she discovers he's lying, or worse, if someone else exposes him before he has a chance to tell the truth, the harm may be irreversible. What's more, Trina is already beginning to doubt herself. She wonders if she ignored warning signs for the sake of optimism. Was she so anxious to overcome her loss that she clung to the first person who made her feel alive again? Did she fall for the concept of healing rather than the man himself? Or is this anxiety simply an echo of past pain, attempting to ruin something wonderful before it has a chance? For Kai, the pressure is increasing rapidly. Every interaction with Trina feels heavier now, as if it were a test he wasn't sure he could pass. He's constantly weighing what he wants and what he fears, and the equilibrium is beginning to shatter. He realizes he can't continue lying. The truth about his estranged brother, Liam, and the life they left behind is a ticking time bomb that grows louder by the day. Liam has returned to Port Charles for a cause, and Kai is not happy about it. There's unfinished business, and if it catches up with him, Trina may be caught in the crossfire. Guilt is eating him alive. Every kiss, shared laugh, and whispered promise is tainted by the lies he has buried. Part of him wants to sit down with Trina and tell her everything. Another part is frightened that once the truth is revealed, she would never look at him the same way again. Port Charles has seen its fair share of doomed love stories. From star-crossed loves to dramatic betrayals, it's a community where even the most innocent romance can be shattered by secrets and danger. It is, nonetheless, a place with a strong sense of resilience, where folks who have fallen can get back up. And Trina Robinson is nothing if not tenacious. It is unclear whether Kai will rise to meet her with the same strength. But if he doesn't, Trina may have to make the most difficult decision of her life. Leave someone she's falling for in order to safeguard the person she's finally becoming. Because in the end, only love can withstand the truth. It can't stay in the shadows forever. Lucy sits in the chapel alone, reading the Aurora article about Sunny and Natalia. Sidwell arrives, and it is only them and Natalia's casket. He wasn't expecting to see Lucy, but she said she was his friend and had to be there for him. Lucy is also sorry that he has to cope with media coverage of Sunny and Natalia today, of all days. Lucy says she enjoyed working with Natalia, who she describes as an excellent woman. Sidwell is anxious that if Marco does not find out what happened to her, he would never be able to rest easy. Lucy cannot believe Sunny was involved, but Sidwell argues it is too soon to rule out any possibilities. Lucy wonders if Natalia mixed her substances. Sidwell laments that anything is conceivable, and he and Natalia were once very much in love. She gave him a son and will always have a special place in his heart. However, he thinks that the unanswered questions surrounding Natalia's death will torment his son for the rest of his life. Lucy suggests that she call in favors to have this news report retracted. Sidwell adds anything she can do to relieve Marco's discomfort would be greatly appreciated. Can Alexis get through to Marco? Marco reads the Aurora article in his hotel suite, while ignoring Lucas' text messages. Alexis arrives to give her condolences and soothe him, despite the fact that the newspaper article states that Sunny did not kill his mother. She claims the piece lacked facts and was full of insinuation, referring to it as clickbait. Alexis claims she understands what Sunny is capable of, both good and terrible. She knows he wouldn't damage Natalia, him, or Blaze because family is everything to Sunny. She knows he has his mother's memorial, therefore she will leave him. Alexis goes and Marco receives additional texts from Lucas, which he ignores. What is Michael planning? Carly, Michael, and Sunny are talking in the kitchen. Michael asked to visit them to explain that Sasha and Daisy are leaving Port Charles since Daisy has been targeted. Carly suspects Drew, but Michael is skeptical. Sunny interprets Daisy's kidnapping and return as a message, signaling that someone wants his attention. Daisy, the penthouse bombing, the attack in Los Angeles, all of these events revolve around him. Sunny claims he can defend Sasha and Daisy 24 hours a day. Michael claims he offered her that, but she refuses to live that way. He believes Sasha deserves serenity after what she's been through, and he wants to give her that. He just needs them to help him get through this. He adds Sasha is bringing Daisy for her routine vaccinations, and Jason will drive them to their next destination. Michael believes he needs to prepare for his next fight, A visitation hearing. If he loses Wiley and Amelia to Drew and Willow, he will have nothing left, thus he cannot allow them gain custody. Isaiah sets some rules at the hospital. Isaiah checks in on Willow, who is pleased to be working with him today. She notices Lucas on duty and knows he will not let her work with him on his services. Isaiah said she is a good nurse and whatever is going on he figures Lucas knows. Lucas approaches them and gives Willow some exams to complete, speaking in a monotone and impersonal tone. Isaiah tells them to pause and figure out what's going on. Isaiah thinks they need to find a way to be friendly at work. Lucas reveals that he and Willow are on opposing sides of an important issue. Willow claims Michael pulled her children away from her, and Lucas claims he made it obvious that Drew should not be around them. They eventually agree to keep their difficulties out of the hospital and to perform better at work. Isaiah says, "So wasn't so difficult, was it?" Later, Lucas changes into a suit and notices that his texts to Marco are not being returned. Meanwhile, Willow expresses gratitude to Isaiah for intervening earlier and easing a difficult situation. Willow claims Michael, not Lucas, is the man she wants to fight. She admits to making mistakes, but she will soon be married and able to provide a stable home for her children. She claims Michael will be a divorced man with 3 children from 3 separate mothers. Isaiah claims he have never heard her speak like this before. Willow claims Michael drove her to this, and she recalls taking Daisy. Anna is suspicious. At Anna's, she is on the phone ordering a background check on S. Vaughn. Felicia enters and Outback rushes out of a bedroom with Anna's shoe. She yells at Emma to leave here. Emma rushes out. Anna informs her that Outback ate her shoe and wonders how she got into her room. Emma claims she must have left her door open while looking for a top to borrow. Anna exclaims that they're vintage, from Milan, and older than her. Gio arrives and he, Emma, and Outback flee to evade Anna's fury. Felicia inquires about the status of her relationship with Emma. Anna admits she is concerned that Emma is in peril. She does not like the person she is seeing, Vaughn, and he is far too old for her. Felicia brings up the age difference between herself and Robert. Anna claims Robert was a good man, she got lucky, and she pledges she'll find out who Vaughn is after running a background check on him. Felicia reveals that Vaughn works at the PCU facilities, which puts him in contact with Dalton, and she wonders if they are both implicated in what happened to Emma in California. What does Jack want Joss and Vaughn to do? Vaughn and Joss meet Jack in his office. Vaughn suspects Anna is after him. Jack says she will most likely investigate him, but Vaughn claims he has a perfect background. Jack observes that this will raise even more red flags for someone like Anna, who is one of the best agents he's ever worked with. Jack calls and Anna has already run a background check on Vaughn. He insists that if they are to achieve this, they must fully commit and become the most convincing couple this community has ever seen. Danny stops by the pool to check on Sasha, who is spending the day with Daisy. Dalton arrives, grabs a lounge chair, and complains to Rocco that there are no fresh towels. Rocco promises he will receive some. Rocco and Danny talk at the towel station, and Rocco informs Danny about Britt and his parents, as well as Jason's feelings toward her. Rocco claims Danny's father helped a lot, but he still wants answers. Rocco informs him that he has written to Britt's mother for help. Dalton demands towels from the boys and believes they should be paying attention to the guests. Gio and Emma come, Outback in tow, and Emma recognizes Dalton. Later, as Sasha is about to depart, Rocco stops to chat to her. He asks Daisy if she knows her voice. Sasha believes this, as do most mothers, and she also spoke to her while she was in the womb, which she believes helps. Rocco then speaks with Gio and expresses his gratitude for the opportunity to collaborate today. Gio agrees, saying it's wonderful to see him on neutral ground. After swimming, Dalton sees Outback sitting in his chair and screams at Rocco and Danny for ruining his experience.